Hey guys, welcome back to Hype RC. In today's video we have the new INJORA 370 brushed motor kit. This also comes with the 7S V2 remote in it. So we're going to get this dude over on the bench, see exactly what comes in the box, then we're going to get it installed in our Traxxas TRX4M High Trail and go out and see how well it performs. Stick around and check it out. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look inside and see exactly what comes in this kit. So we get an instruction manual, Chinese on the outside, English on the inside. That is very nice. So here is our new ESC packaged up with some 3M double-sided adhesive. We are going to have our 7S V2 remote. Very nice, very lightweight in the hand. Looks like we should be able to use that one-handed pretty easily. And then what else do we have in here? So here is the motor and the transmission. It does come with a skid plate. That is really nice. And then I'm guessing, yep, the good old INJORA sticker pack. So let's go ahead and get this dude installed and see how well it performs. Alright guys, that was a pretty quick and easy install. It only takes about 10 or 15 minutes. I was wrong. Looks can be deceiving. The factory skid plate does not work with the 370 brush setup. You do have to install the skid plate that comes with the kit. And then I noticed that the battery tray doesn't exactly fit in here. You can see how it's kind of bowed around there. So, you know, I guess if a guy wanted to, he could trim that off, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave that as it is. But it doesn't fit up just right. But this did go in exactly where the factory ESC did. I did try to mount it as far forward. It has some little clips on the side, so that's about as far forward as I could get it. But I've got some batteries charging. We're going to get this dude out and hit the rocks. Alright guys, let's talk about how the INJORA 370 brushed motor kit performed in this rig. So there is a lot to like about this setup and a little to really not like about this setup. So let's go over the pros first. The first pro is the amount of torque that little 370 motor has. It allows you to slow modulate on standard gears out of the factory for this, and that is just something that you cannot do. It eliminates the need to have a 2-speed transmission, and then with the flip of the switch up to 3rd gear, you've got all that trail speed back. It is really quick, and I really like being able to go from a crawling mode to a trail mode in this rig, which is something that I did not have before. The remote itself. So this is a little one-handed remote. It feels a little cheap and chintzy, but the fact, if you can overlook that, all the functionality of this, you can set your servo endpoints. You have steering trim, you have throttle trim, you have a 3rd channel function for the lights, high gear, low gear. It just, if you can overlook the cheapness look of the controller, the functionality is a huge upgrade over the TQ remote. Next is the fact that you can use different batteries in this rig. I used a 1000 milliamp 2S35C battery in here, and I ran this thing for over an hour and a half, and it still has plenty of juice left, and I really like that I don't have to use those Traxxas batteries anymore. So let's talk about the cons, and there's not a lot, but the ones that are there are kind of significant. So on this remote, we'll go back into low gear. So that's forward, right? That should be reverse. That's not. It's a brake. Then reverse. So on a crawler, the only type of brake you need is a drag brake. You're not racing this car around and need to slow it down into the corner with a brake. You know, so that is not beneficial for a crawler. And then next, the motor does sit up a little bit higher and is a little bit heavier than the factory setup. So you do raise the center of gravity in this rig. You know, not a whole lot, but it is some. And if you're going to do a true crawler, that is not what you want. And then the last thing is I did mention this has a third channel function. Well, for mine, that does not work. I have tried every way possible to get this third function to turn those headlights on and off, and I cannot get it to work. So that is just not beneficial at all. I don't know if it's just my remote or if it's all of them, but for mine, it is not working. So the last one in this rig, so when you go forward, you know, there's the slow modulation, really nice, and then you go into reverse. When you are on dirt or sand or have any obstacles, that actually does not even work in low gear. Now, medium, it's a lot better. Forward, there's a reverse. It works pretty well. And then in high, you know, you've got all kinds of forward and reverse. And now you do have the ability to use that from the remote directly, but when you're crawling, you're going to be in low gear. And if you're going up a steep incline and it starts to roll on you and you need to get in reverse, it's slow or non-existent, and you have to try to battle through that brake to get there. So here's my final thoughts on this. Would I recommend this? Yes, I would, for specific kind of rig. A trail rig like this, absolutely. I love the fact that I don't have a 2-speed transmission, and now I can crawl this rig and trail this rig. That is a huge bonus for me. But for a true rock crawler, I wouldn't even think about installing this in something like that. The brake, the ability to not have reverse in low gear is just absolutely a no for me in a true crawler. But in this trail rig, I will leave this system in here. I do like the way it functions for this trail rig. So all in all, it gets about a 7 out of 10 for me. INJORA's got a few bugs that they need to work out, but for $45, you get a remote, a transmission, a motor, and an ESC, and dollar for dollar, that's going to be one of the toughest upgrades pound for pound to beat in the market right now. I like where they're going, and I like what they did. They just got a few bugs that they really need to work at and take a look at. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to support your local hobby shop. Bash, crawl, repeat. Hit that subscribe and like button for me and ring the bell so you can catch my next video. We'll see you next time.